Welcome to the 2011 Valley of the Sun Bowl from Han-Gila Field on the campus of Glendale Community College. And today it's the Dean College Bulldogs taking on the host team, the Glendale Gauchos.
Feel on what Demetrius Wilson wanted to go next year. So as I kick it back up to you guys, I guess we're looking forward to a great 31st Valley of the Sun Bowl. Jeff, Coach.
Thanks, guys. 55 degrees, our game time temperature here in Glendale, Arizona. Of course, Glendale Community College, just a few miles away from where the Arizona Cardinals play over there at Cardinal Stadium. And the Glendale Gauchos have taken the field. Looks like they're going to receive the opening kick. It'll be Mike Hall and DeAndre Moore-Young back to receive. Glendale comes in, they're 8-3 under head coach Mickey Bell, went to Utah State. He's in his 5th year. He preceded my colleague here, Joe Kirsting, 5 seasons ago. He's 36-18. They're coming off a 30-12 victory over Pima. Dean College, 7-1, undefeated in their Northeast Football Conference, riding a 7-game win streak. And you're watching the 31st annual Valley of the Sun Bowl.
Jeff, this is going to be one of the key plays in the game all game, and that's going to be kickoff and kickoff return. So we'll see how Gauchos do on the opening kickoff here.
Well, Blaine Moriarty, a 2-year starter at kicker, and he goes short. And it's going to be returned by Hall near sideline or far sideline, up across the 30 and up across the 40, close to a 20-yard return. So a very good start for the Glendale Gauchos, and this game is underway.
That was a great job by Hall. He got a few nice key blocks on the Glendale sideline and was able to find his seam and burst out to that 42-yard line. So great field position for the Gauchos.
The Gauchos will be led by quarterback Spencer Stone. He's out of Chaparral High School. Part of his numbers were pretty prolific, 2,553 yards and 23 touchdowns, but he threw 19 interceptions. So Glendale will have it, 1st down and 10. They mark the ball at the 42. This is the first play from scrimmage, and the handoff goes to Hines. He bounces off a tackler near the 40 and then barrels his way up to the 48-yard line, a pickup of 6 for the second leading rusher for Glendale this year.
Well, Dean came up in an 8-man front, and usually when they line up in an 8-man front means they're going to try to stop the run, and Glendale was able to get a nice gain on that 1st down play. Alex
Sammartino is going to be in there. He is the fullback in the offset eye. They go back to Hines, and he gets dropped for about a 3-yard loss. A phenomenal defensive play by Shamarcus Petard, one of their top tacklers this year, the freshman linebacker out of Athens, Georgia.
Well, I was really impressed with their linebackers. I had a chance to watch some videotape on Dean, and their linebackers are very active, and Petard exploded right through there.
So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7, and now Stone goes back into the shotgun. He's got a couple of very good receivers, and now under pressure and dumps it off to Hines. He's got a clear path to 1st down yardage as he's pushed out of bounds near the Dean 43. A 12-yard pickup and move the chains.
What a super job by Spencer Stone on that play. He had great pressure on him and was able to keep his composure, find his running back on a little swing route, and picked up the 1st down.
They spread Wilson to the far side. In the far slot is Willie Rizzudio, and now we got a timeout already in the contest with 13 minutes and 39 seconds left to go here, 1st quarter. Well, today's game is brought to you by the Maricopa Community Colleges, where your education and success come first. By Glendale Community College, enroll today and make life happen. By Dean College, prepare for what's next. And Cox Communications, your friend in the digital age. Joe Kirsting, Jeff Lowry, 1st quarter action, a scoreless tie. We're in a timeout with 13:39 left to go, and a big first down by Jamil Hines out of Chandler High School has got the Gauchos off and running.
Well, you know, the Gauchos, they go with that no-huddle offense, and Dean College might not be ready for that, and that's probably why there's a little bit of confusion and why they use that early timeout.
So 1st down and 10. Stone, the quarterback, had a shotgun from the 42 of Dean. They send Demetrius Wilson in motion, and a lot of D1 schools looking at that young man. He was one of the leading receivers this year, and that little bubble screen got broken up nicely. Gaddis out of Cleveland, Ohio, a 5'10", 215-pounder, disrupted that play, and they lose 3.
Another one of those active linebackers for Dean, sniffing that one out and making a nice play on that screen pass.
So it brings up 2nd down and 13. We're approaching the 13-minute mark. First quarter action. Valley of the Sun Bowl 2011. Glendale 8-3 against the 7-1 Dean College Bulldogs. Here's a quick screen out to Wilson, and he is caught in the backfield. He almost eluded the tackle of Charles Watson, their leading tackler this year, and he's going to be lost here, or he's going to be hit for a loss of nearly 7 yards on the play.
And there's the third active linebacker that we referred to earlier. That's Watson. And I'll tell you what, these linebackers, you better not throw anything in their area. They're going to be all over the receiver.
So a passing play here on 3rd and 20. Glendale back inside their own territory. They'll send the tight end Osberger in motion. They got trips right, and here's the throw. And it comes to the far side of the field, and it's going to be incomplete. Tried to hook up with Demetrius Wilson, their second leading receiver in terms of catches, but his 841 was one of the best in the WSFL.
Well, they went to an empty backfield set. They sprinted to the wide side of the field to try to get Dean to flow that way, and then Stone threw back to the short side and incomplete to Wilson.
Zach Robinson averages a little over 34 yards a punt, and back is the dangerous Rodney Whitehead, who's got a tremendous per average run, and he's going to only get about 2 or 3 on that one. Great coverage there by the Glendale Gauchos, turned in by Tipa Visigano.
You can see the return man makes a nice catch on that, but great coverage, as you pointed out, Jeff, by the Gaucho coverage team. Now, one of the things I'll look for later in this game is a possible fake punt by the Gauchos, because Dean turned very quickly to set up that wall return and did not watch for fake at all.
Jamal Small is the quarterback, and they come out throwing on 1st and 10 from their own 18-yard line, and pressure from that big front wall. And Glendale stops him for no gain. Small comes in 53% completion, 919 yards with 10 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions.
Well, that's something I think you'll see quite a bit today, is Small looking to scramble. He's one of those guys that if his primary receiver's not open, I'm sure they give him the green light to take off with it, because he's a very good runner with the ball.
The 2 guys to look up front for Glendale, Cy Moffmer, 93, C.J. Randall, 99, and the young man in on that last tackle was Marshall Pugh, 66. Here's a completion near the 31-yard line as he was wrapped up by Brendan Murphy. The catch was made by Malcolm Bagley, their 3rd receiver, for 13 yards.
Well, Glendale came with a zone blitz that time, and when you zone blitz, you give up some underneath zones, and that time they were able to complete it in front of the corner, Brendan Murphy.
So they'll move the chains. It's a 1st down at the 32. 11 minutes left to play here. Opening quarter, we're scoreless. Glendale's already had the ball on offense, and Dean College, led by their quarterback, who is listed at 6 foot 195. He looks bigger than that. He's pressured, flushed out of the pocket. He will throw the ball away on the far side, incomplete.
Well, Paul Etiaki, the outside linebacker, had a free lane to the quarterback and was right there to sack Small, but Small's athleticism was able to elude that tackle and get rid of the ball. But we got a couple of flags. I'm not sure what we got here, but we got a flag on each sideline.
Well, the head referee is Joe Seawald, and we'll get a call from him momentarily.
Ineligible man downfield on the offense, number 66. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
You know, Jeff, it looked like they were possibly trying to set up a middle screen, and I think Glendale snuffed it out. And then when the quarterback scrambled and threw the ball down the field, that's what caused the ineligible receiver downfield. Because if he throws the screen behind the line, it's perfectly legal for that lineman to get downfield.
So it goes as an incomplete pass, and now 2nd down and 10 for the Bulldogs. They've had 7 consecutive winning seasons. Their head coach, Todd Vasey, out of Nebraska, has been a 4-time Coach of the Year in that conference. Running play to the left side, and there's that Glendale defense, led by number 3, Brendan Murphy out of Chaparral High School. In talking to Coach Vasey before the game, he said that his main concern with Glendale's defense is the speed that they possess and the way they swarm, and there was a lot of black jerseys on that play.
Yeah, great pursuit by Glendale. They threw the quick screen to the wide side of the field, and several Gauchos right there ready to make the hit, led by Murphy.
The carry belonged to Andre Johnson, their top running back this year, and that goes for a -4. 3rd and 14 with 10 minutes to go, first quarter action. Out of shotgun is Small. Here comes the pressure. Here's the throw, and it's incomplete.
Well, Glendale came with an all-out blitz. They had 6 coming after the quarterback that time, playing pretty tight man coverage, not much room to throw to, and Small did a good job just getting rid of that ball. But a good series by Glendale. They gave up 1 first down, but they should get pretty good field position after this exchange.
Well, Blaine Moriarty is their place kicker. He is also their punter. Back near the 30-yard line is the dangerous Demetrius Wilson, the sophomore who has electrifying speed with 10 minutes and 6 seconds left to play here first quarter. The kick is away, and it's going to be retrieved near the 29. Wilson sidesteps a tackler near the 30, races up along that far side, and is going to be hit late, maybe inadvertent. Albert Presley, a 6'2", 235-pounder with the late hit, and there's the flag.
Yeah, nice job by Demetrius fielding this on the bounce and then getting to the wall up the Glendale sideline, and he did step out of bounds. If he doesn't step out of bounds, he might have gone the distance with that.
Personal foul.
43.
Late hit number 8 of the kicking team. 15 yards will be added to the end of the run. First down.
43-yard punt, 13-yard return. 10:04 left to go here. We are scoreless from Glendale's Han-Gila Stadium, and you're watching the 31st annual Valley of the Sun Bowl on MCTV. Glendale has hosted this game for now the 18th time in school history. They are a 3-time national title winner. All 3 under my colleague Joe Kirsting. So Spencer Stone returns at the helm. They send Talon Haggard, one of the leading receivers in the WSFL, who had 56 catches. They're going to go to Burks on the carry, or rather check that, 26 is Anthony Hughes. Now, Hughes and Hines, the 2 primary weapons out of Mickey Bell's backfield, both about the same amount of yards, over 700 yards apiece. One, a very fast runner in Hughes, not as big as Hines. Hines is kind of like a bowling ball out there, and he runs like one. And it just really lends to a great running attack for Glendale, and it opens things up, obviously, for Spencer Stone, the quarterback. 2nd down and 9. Ball resting at the 42. Spencer throws to the flats. Wilson makes the catch at the 36. Stiff arms the defender and will be pushed out of bounds by number 39, Johnny Roundtree, one of the cornerbacks for Dean College. They'll move the chains after a 12-yard pickup.
Well, if Dean's going to continue to play that off coverage with their corners against Wilson, that play will be there all night because Wilson is so quick getting in and out of his break that hitch route will be there, and Stone throws on time. They'll get lots of yards after the catch.
The strong side, the right side, and they run it left. And Hughes is going to be stopped at the point of attack. Outstanding Dean College defense, plugging up that B gap on the left side, and it was led by Charles Watson, their leading tackler in 2011.
It looks like it's going to be hit and miss a little bit trying to run the ball against that Dean front. I'm telling you what, they are very physical in the defensive line, and their linebackers are very active, and it's going to be a challenge for Glendale all day.
Antoine Jackson, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. The sophomore, 6'4", is in there, trips. And the throw is incomplete and could have been easily picked up by Campbell. We got an injured referee on the field.
This is not good. That referee, I believe that's, no, I don't want to mispronounce. I think that's Dana Smith, the umpire, and I did not see what happens, but he looks like he might be unconscious on the field.
Well, let's take a timeout. We got 8:31 here in the first quarter, and we are scoreless. It's the Valley of the Sun Bowl 2011.
Gating soon, guys.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Well, let's take this opportunity to give you the officials here. Alan Montoya, the head linesman. You got Chris Russell, Drazowski, Tom Drazowski, Dave Ross. No longer is Dana Smith the umpire. Johnny Price, as Mike reported, and Robert Fogeltantz, along with the chief, the man in charge, Joel Seawald, who is probably the hardest working referee in the state. You see him everywhere at every level. So we are scoreless from the Valley of the Sun Bowl in Glendale. 8:31 on the clock, and we'll have more on MC.
An injury to the head, they're going to take the utmost precaution to prevent any neck injury or further head injury. So hopefully Dana will be all right. I've known Dana for many years in several different ways. I was actually the best man in his sister's wedding many, many years ago by a fluke. But Dana's done a great job for both high school and junior college athletics in the officiating realm.
So let's reset the stage here. 8:31 left on the clock, first quarter action. We are in a scoreless tie, Glendale facing a 3rd and 11. We approximately a 28-minute delay due to the injury to umpire Dana Smith, and certainly everybody here at MCTV hopes for a quick recovery. Now Spencer Stone, the quarterback, has flanked himself out to the far side. We haven't seen that this year. And here's Talon Haggard, their leading receiver, taking off with it out of the Wildcat, and he's inside the 18, and that's a Glendale first.
A beautifully executed counter blocking scheme by the Glendale offensive line that opened up a big hole for Haggard. Haggard's a 220-pound, multi-talented athlete, and you called it. It's the Wildcat that Glendale's used very effectively on occasion all year long, and it looks like they're going to stay in the Wildcat.
A 14-yard pickup for Talon Haggard, 6'2", 225-pounder, listed as a tight end. And now, again, out of the shotgun, and Haggard drops the ball, and now he has to fall on it, and he's going to lose a good 4 yards on the play.
Well, anytime you get into this shotgun formation, the first thing you got to do is catch the ball. And he took his eyes off the ball on the snap, and consequently, big loss on the play.
So Glendale featuring Anthony Hughes in the backfield. Spencer Stone will return to his normal position at quarterback. Two receivers to the near side, or the far side, and now Stone throws incomplete near the 18, and he tried to hook up with Talon Haggard.
Well, Glendale's in scoring position and has a chance to put some points on the board, but they'd sure like to get another first down and try to keep this drive alive. But with 3rd and 15, it's going to be challenging against a great Dean College defense.
Dean College had the #1 ranked defense in the Northeast Football Conference. 7:34 here in the first quarter. 3rd and 15. Stone throws to the flats, caught by Hughes at the 15 and races all the way for the touchdown. 26 yards for the young man, the superstar out of Centennial High School.
Well, that was a blown coverage by the Dean College defense. Nobody on the running back in the flat route, and Stone wisely found Hughes in the flat, and he raced right into the end zone.
So Glendale looking to add on to a 6-0 lead with 7:28 left to play here in the opening quarter of the 2011 Valley of the Sun Bowl. Jordan Rushkoff has been very reliable this year, and the place kicker boots one through the uprights, and it's 7-0 Glendale as we send it down to Glendale side of the field, and Mike Caratenuto.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. Yeah, you guys are talking about Talon Haggard running their, I guess, version of a Wildcat. And the first game I saw that in was when they held on to beat Scottsdale. He pretty much had his hands on the ball every play, took snaps, drove him down the field, and then Spencer Stone threw the touchdown pass to him to cap off that drive against Scottsdale. And I was talking to Coach Bell before the game, wondering if we might see that more, because saw it a few times during the season, and again, you just see he doesn't take him off the field. So Talon Haggard, obviously, I know you guys have talked about him a lot this year, but is looking to keep having a big impact in this game.
Thanks, Mike. Demetrius Davis will now join Rodney Whitehead back to receive the ensuing kickoff.
And this is the portion of the game that Glendale has not been very good at and Dean's been excellent at, so we'll see what happens on this kickoff.
And Bobby Hodge will kick this one away. It's an end-over-end kick, fielded back at the 15. Here's Whitehead going to work. Up to the 20, and he's going to be stopped there. And good pursuit from behind. Cody Lenhart made the tackle out of Ironwood High School with 7:23 to go in the first.
Well, Dean had a return set up towards their sideline, and Hodge kicked that ball to the Glendale sideline, and the return man was unable to get to his blockers in time, and Glendale had great coverage on the play.
That last drive by Glendale, 7 plays, 43 yards, capped off by the touchdown of 26 yards from quarterback Spencer Stone to Anthony Hughes, 26 yards. First down and 10 from the 24. They'll go to the ground attack, and this is Williams getting the call, and he's up to the 25. Swarmed under by a host of Glendale Gauchos after a modest 1-yard pickup.
Well, Glendale's playing pretty solid defense so far. This is their second series, and a nice job maintaining gap control on that play and limiting the gain to about 2-3 yards.
For Spencer Stone, his 24th touchdown of the season. Glendale leads at 7-0 with 6:45 on the clock, first quarter action. And working out a shotgun as the quarterback Small. He looks to throw and does, and off the hands of Robbie Jackson, who we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Coach, averaging over 25 yards a catch. He's certainly a weapon, and it will be interesting to see how he plays in the outcome of this game.
Well, I'll guarantee you they're going to go deep to Jackson several times before this game is over. He's a big playmaker for Dean College Bulldogs, and he's a guy that can change the scoreboard faster than anybody they have on their offense.
He caught a pass earlier this year from Jamal Small, their largest play from scrimmage, for 96 yards. So that helped out on that 25 per catch average. Third down and 8, and the quarterback is going down for the first time this afternoon. Swarming Glendale defense, and it was led by Cy Moffmer, a young man, 6'2", 290 pounds, who got an offer to Eastern Michigan.
Well, Moffmer and a couple of his buddies got through there very quickly, and Coach Bell is not shying away from what he loves to do. If he gets you in a passing situation, he loves to bring the heat, and great coverage in the secondary by the Glendale DBs to help them with that sack.
So Moriarty stands at his own 3, and a short kick angled for the near side or far side. Takes a Dean bounce to the 47-yard line, and it turned out to be not a bad punt. 35 yards, no return.
Well, obviously Dean purposely is trying to kick away from Demetrius Wilson, and that didn't turn out too well for Dean in terms of that one.
Candace Hurdle, our sideline reporter, down on the Dean side of the field. Candace?
Thanks, Jeff. After that touchdown, the defensive coordinator for Dean was talking to his defensive line, reassuring them that they were fine, not to worry about that last drive, but they were discussing that Wildcat formation, so they'll be ready for it the next time Glendale uses that. Jeff?
Thanks, Candace. First down and 10, the ball resting at the 48 for Glendale, 5:54 on the clock. Glendale leads at 7-0. They feature Hines in the backfield. He gets a call running left over the 50 and inside Dean College territory near the 46-yard line, and a pickup of 6 yards for Hines in a no-huddle offense.
Well, Glendale's trying to speed up the game, and Dean's trying to do the opposite. So we'll see Glendale getting in and out of the huddle, or not. They don't even huddle, and getting up to the line very quickly after every play to try to run as many plays as they can.
Second down and 4. Wilson, the wide receiver, in motion, and on play action, Stone in trouble. He got hit as he throws, and it's going to be incomplete. Mike Intrari, 6', 247-pounder out of Rhode Island, got in there, and he got in there unabated.
And that was very close to intentional grounding. I'm not sure who Stone was throwing that ball to, and the coaches on the Dean's sideline were, I'm sure, yelling out the same thing to the official. But very fortunate there wasn't a huge loss of yardage for Glendale.
So now they spread it out a little bit. Haggard goes in motion to the far side. Stone, a two-step drop, fires complete over the middle, and that's going to be good enough for another first down. So Glendale, for the most part, has been moving the ball with tremendous success. The catch was made by Willie Residio, and the catch goes for 13 yards.
A nice job by Stone. He got to his drop very quickly. Stone has very good mechanics, and he gets to his drop very quickly, gets the ball off. He's not a very tall quarterback, but he throws between the arms of those D linemen and gets the ball in there.
Keep it on the ground. Hines going to work, gets the edge at the 30, up across the 20, and he's inside Dean College territory near the 14-yard line. An outstanding run by Hines. And did you see who was on the lead block? Talon Haggard, the tight end.
Well, he's a great athlete. He's a multi-talented. He makes plays with and without the football, and he made a key lead block on that counter play.
18 yards on the carry. They go back to their workhorse and Hines, and this time he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage, and getting in there with lightning-like swiftness was Shamarcus Petard.
Well, I think Hines didn't read that one very well. If he'd have stretched that ball a little bit wider and taken it to the edge of the defense, I think he'd had much better yardage on that play. But the previous play showed great acceleration to get up this Glendale sideline.
It will bring up second down and 9. Looks like the ball's resting right at the 15-yard line. Stone back to pass, looking for his second touchdown pass of the day. Throws it complete to Haggard, but only for maybe a yard pickup. And it's going to leave Glendale in a 3rd and long, even though they're inside the Dean red zone.
That was a super break by number 24, Irvin Johnson, to hit Haggard just as he caught the ball for a 1-yard gain. I'll be curious to see if they come up in that man coverage again like they did on the previous touchdown pass that Glendale threw, and see who covers the back this time.
Hines flanks Stone, the quarterback, who has time in the pocket, throws for the corner of the end zone. Wilson went up in the corner and tried to make a one-handed catch. It falls incomplete, but Donovan Walker was all over the play.
Yeah, Donovan Walker was right there with Demetrius. I was surprised Stone didn't throw that ball a little sooner and let Demetrius use his height advantage to try to make a jump ball out of it. Kind of threw it out the back of the end zone.
So it's going to set up a 30-yard field goal attempt here. Rushoff with Haggard to hold. This is on 4th and 8 with 3:26 left to go. It is a 31-yard attempt, a good kick, end over end, and it's good. And Glendale, hosting their 18th Valley of the Sun Bowl with 3:22 left to go here in the first period, leads it 10-0, and we'll be back. All right, back at Hanhila Stadium, a 10-0 lead for the Gauchos, coming off a 6-play drive that ate up 2 minutes and 28 seconds and 52 yards. Whitehead back along with Dimitri Davis, who is their 3rd running back. Bobby Hodge, a short pooch kick that's going to be fielded by one of the tight ends, and a 5-yard return up to the 40-yard line where he was upended by Brendan Murphy, his 3rd tackle of the game with 3:20 left to go, first quarter action.
You know, Jeff, I think that's interesting strategy that Coach Bell is using Hodge as a kickoff man. He's not done kickoffs for them all year long, but he's a good athlete and probably been working on those type of squib-type kicks to keep it from getting to those deep return men.
Well, you talked about field position game, and both scoring drives by Glendale, they started at their own 42 and then their own 48. So that good starting field position has really paid off as Dean College comes out running the ball and brought down by Glendale's leading tackler, number 25, the sophomore safety, Matt Corbin.
Now, and this is Dean's best field position of the game, starting at their own 40. We'll see if Dean now can punch that ball into the Glendale territory and pick up some points.
Well, we haven't seen too much out of the Dean quarterback, Jamal Small, 6 foot, 195 pounds, out of Ashbury Park, New Jersey. Completing 53% of his passes, running the option left. He's got some great speed, knocks off a Glendale helmet and races up along the near side and is going to be brought down, or did he end up fumbling the ball? I kind of lost sight of the football there. There's a penalty marker down near the 40.
I think he lost the ball after he was out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds on the 41, but I think we're going to get a late hit on Glendale on that Dean sideline.
16 yards for the quarterback. Let's get the call from Joe Seawald.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 6 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Jeff, just not to interrupt you, but what happened on that play is the quarterback made a late pitch down the field on the option to his trailing tailback. The tailback stayed with a good pitch relationship on the and Small pitched it to him, and he was able to pick up a few extra yards before getting hit out of bounds.
So with the 15-yard penalty, that puts them in their best field position of the day at the 26 of Glendale, 2:29 on the clock. Small takes the snap and gives to his primary running back, and he's going to be very close to a first down as he was pushed out of bounds by Dylan Flannery out of Basha, but a nice run there by Andre Johnson, actually their second leading back this year.
Yeah, Andre really ran with some physical presence to him on that play. Got his pads down and just made a great hit on that DB coming up to support the run and was able to pick up about 4 or 5 extra yards after first contact.
Yeah, they got those big guys blocking up front. Ken Smith, 285 pounds on that left side. And 76, Kerry Guy, 6'2", 236 out of Norfolk, Maryland. Just under 2 minutes left to play. Clock continues to wind down. Here's the quarterback rolling out and dumping it off to the far side of the field, and they have just put 6 on the board on a great job there getting the ball to Dimitri Davis, and that cuts it to a 4-point lead.
A really well-designed play by the Dean College offense. They ran the same motion and same run action to their left, and then the quarterback kept it on a bootleg back to the right.
The result of the play was a touchdown.
Motion.
Personal foul, late hit, number 5 of the defense.
The ball on the flat and
that penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Into the end zone.
And then add a personal foul on top of the play on another late hit. We've seen 3 of them, 2 by Glendale. So all of a sudden, Dean College, that offense starting to move the ball with tremendous success. They did not look very good their first couple of possessions, but that time they came down, they marched down the field on this Glendale defense. Now the extra point by Moriarty, and that ball's going to be blocked, and it's going to be picked up. This could be a 2-point play. That ball's picked up by Avery Boykin, and he is going to go all the way 93 yards and a 2-point conversion for the Glendale Gauchos.
Well, you don't see that very often, do you? Jeff Lowry, my oh my, they had 3 Glendale defenders in that backfield ready to block the kick, and Boykin was right there to pick it up and the scoop and score, and wow, what a play.
It has been a long time since I've seen that play, and that makes the score 12-6 Glendale with 1:47 left to go. 93 yards and a career high, a college career high for Avery Boykin out of Estrella Foothills High School. Mike Caratenuto, you were turf side for that one. That was a great run.
Yeah, he just came right up the middle, and well, the block came from up the middle, and when he picked it up, I'm like, he's gone, he's going to get the 2 points. Because, Coach, I was going to ask you, actually, you're just talking about field position, and the late hit there obviously would have cost the Glendale offense field position. It will now, but I don't think they can feel too bad, obviously, getting 2 points out of it.
Well, I'm curious to see what Dean's going to do on this kick, Mike, because with this 15-yard penalty, this could set up an onside kick, a bloop kick, or some other type of strategy rather than just kick the ball deep. Because if they kick it in the end zone, Glendale's still going to get it on the 20. So we'll see what happens on this.
Moriarty to kick. He just had that extra point blocked for a 93-yard return by Boykin, and Glendale gets 2 points out of it. Here's Young from his own 1-yard line, racing up across the 10 to 20, and will be tripped up on special teams coverage by Auburn Chandler, and that's a 25-yard return for Young.
And, Jeff, he was a step away from breaking it. Glendale did a great job getting on their blocks, and that return man really showed a burst of speed, but right there he gets his ankle just tripped up slightly, or he might have gone all the way.
Well, you talk about Dean College, that last drive, 4 plays, 60 yards, ate up just a minute and a half. And I think one of the biggest things was for the first time here today, we've seen their quarterback running the option, taking on the running game himself. And that opened up things, and they just marched down the field. So it's 12-6 Glendale, and they're coming out throwing the ball, and it's complete. And off to the races is Antoine Jackson, and he's going to go all the way. Taking it to the house, 75 yards, and Glendale strikes right back.
Well, I can't help but smile, Jeff, because Antoine has taken a couple of classes from me. He hasn't played much this year. He's had a knee injury most of the year, and he's been able to come back for the last couple of games, and what a huge play for Glendale.
Antoine played for Doug Clapp over at Peoria High School, and he has made perhaps his biggest play of his college career in this Valley of the Sun Bowl. 18-6 with 1:37 left to go. Rushoff will try for the extra point, and he splits the uprights, making it 19-6 Gauchos. 1:37 left to go. Coming off a 75-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Spencer Stone to Antoine Jackson. All right, we're back from Hanhila Stadium in Glendale. The Gauchos come out with a quick strike, and Spencer Stone now with 25 touchdown passes this year. End over end kick there by Hodge, and this is Davis. Davis at the 30, trying to find a seam and gets it to the 44 as he's decapitated from behind by DeAndre Moore-Young. 28-yard return with 1:29 left to go in the first period.
You know, Jeff, Glendale has shown their explosiveness already in this first quarter, but, you know, both of those big plays for the Gauchos were really breakdowns by the Dean secondary. That last play, they were in a cover 2 type look, and the corner and the safety, neither of them made a play on the wide receiver. There's only one receiver on their side, and neither of them were able to make the play, and Jackson took it all the way.
So Small returns at quarterback, 3 of 8 passing here for 28 yards. They go to ground attack straight up the middle, and that play was stopped cold by Marshall Pugh, one of the top down linemen in the Western States Football League for Glendale.
Well, I think you said it earlier. They're going to look to use that option game from the shotgun, and that's one of the options. That's the inside dive play off the option, and don't be surprised if you see Small now carry the option out to the outside edge in the next few plays.
So a pickup of 5 yards on the play, 2nd down and 5. Small working out a shotgun, looks left, checks down, and now takes off with the ball up across midfield and inside Glendale territory, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds by DeAndre Moore-Young, a young man that does just about everything for Coach Mickey Bell, the head coach of the Glendale Gauchos in his 5th year. He's done a great job since taking over for you, Coach. 36-18, and Glendale being in their 3rd consecutive Valley of the Sun Bowl.
Yeah, Mickey's done a wonderful job. He's a great leader, and he really has a big heart. He barks a lot, but his bite's not too much. But he really does care about those young men, I'll tell you that.
The 9-yard pickup by the quarterback gives him a 1st down and 10. Pitch out, running left, and what a tremendous solo tackle by Treg Waters, the young man out of St. Mary's High School, 6'1", 185-pound sophomore. And that's the kind of play you want out of your strong safety.
Absolutely, but the guy that forced the pitch so early was Dallas Nichols, number 33, who put a wallop on Mr. Small just as he pitched that ball.
And that is the end of the first quarter of play. Gauchos leading the Bulldogs of Dean College 19-6. Second quarter action, Valley of the Sun Bowl. 2nd down and 10 for the Dean College Bulldogs, and out of shotgun is their quarterback, Jamal Small, with their leading rusher back there. They run the quarterback option, and he looked like he might have been down, was able to throw it incomplete. Actually, he was bootlegging that time, and what a job by the defense. And of course, when you talk about this Glendale defense, you got to start with C.J. Randall and this outstanding defensive front wall.
Well, I cannot believe that Small's knee did not go down on that play. It looked like the tackler got his knee down to the ground, but the referee was right there, watched it all the way, Joel Seawald, and he said he was still up, and Small was able to get rid of that ball.
Now, the last time Dean College had the ball, they marched downfield 4 plays, a minute and a half, 60 yards. They're facing a 3rd and long here, 3rd and 10. And Small, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, and he is going to be brought down. He'll get it back to the line of scrimmage, and that is all. The defense led by Jason Link, 57. And at the bottom of the heap, I bet it's one of the 90s. Yep, 99, C.J. Randall.
C.J. Randall, you better believe it. He's been all over the field and especially done a nice job on the pass rush. Well, Glendale's gotten real predictable, and I imagine Dean will have an answer for it the next time they get 3rd and long. But every time they've been 3rd and long, Glendale's brought the house from on the blitz and look for a screen or some other kind of gadget play on those 3rd and longs next time.
Moriarty stands back at his own 41-yard line. And a stop in play here and a false start going against the kicking team.
False start.
Well, Glendale was setting up the return.
Number 16, 5-yard penalty.
With a man like Demetrius Wilson back there to return, I imagine that's what they're going to do most of the game, especially now that they have a lead. But they're going to try. Dean College, Blaine Moriarty, the punter, is going to try to kick this ball towards the Dean sideline away from where Demetrius Wilson is. Directional punt.
Wilson stands back at his own 15. Moriarty's 3rd kick. He's averaging 36 through the first 2. Wilson lets it bounce near the 13, and it rolls all the way down close to the 5 of Glendale. So a 41, check that, a 44-yard punt. No return, 13:44 left to go, second quarter action, and Glendale leads Dean College 19-6.
And Blaine Moriarty couldn't have executed better on that directional punt away from Wilson. Wilson was sprinted there but could not get the ball on the fly or on the bounce, and it rolls down to the 5-yard line.
Offensive line led by Preston Brooksby, Junior Nieves, Colin Powers, Patrick Ward. Patrick Ward, a first-team All-Western State Football Leaguer. And now 1st and 10 for Glendale, Spencer Stone. And a false start is going to be the call here against Glendale. Actually, Talon Haggard taking the snap there, Coach. Going back to the Wildcat.
Back in the
Wildcat. On the offense, number 89, half the distance to the goal. Still 1st down.
Yeah, that was the tight end, Jesse Millicent, that moved a little prematurely and caused that illegal procedure.
So they'll feature Hughes in the backfield. Let's see if they go back to Spencer. No, they're going to go. Well, now they got Talon flanked over here to the Glendale side, but there's some confusion on that offense. We might see Glendale's first time out of the first half here. You got 7 on the play clock, 2nd and 12 working from their own 2.5-yard line, and Hughes gets the call. They sweep it left, and he gets the edge and picks up a substantial amount of yards and will bring up a 2nd and short yardage here. Actually, they're going to mark him out of bounds near the 9.
Well, it was a nice job by Anthony Hughes. He nearly got hit in his own backfield for a safety, but was able to elude that first tackler and bounce it to the outside and get about a 6-7 yard gain to bring up a 2nd and 6.
So once again, Haggard will take the snap. He's the tight end, the leading receiver in terms of catches in the WSFL. High snap, he bobbles it, and he's going to go down quickly. Boy, Shamarcus Pittard got in there with lightning-like swiftness, and that's a quarterback sack with 13:20 left to go here in the first half.
Well, that's the second time the Glendale offensive line has failed to pick up Pittard when he has come on a blitz against the run. And I wouldn't be surprised to see number 45 blitzing a little more often throughout the day because he really does a great job hitting that gap.
And right now he's lining up behind big Lance Burlingame, 6'5", 270-pounder on the right side. And Stone comes out throwing the ball, and it's incomplete. So 3 and out. And all of a sudden you start talking about field position, and Dean, barring a huge punt here, should get very good starting field position.
Well, they should end up on the plus side of the 50-yard line after this exchange, as you say, as long as they don't do anything foolish here. But a real nice series by the Dean defense right there. That's the best series of the afternoon.
Robinson's first punt was 43 yards, and he really lays into this one, and that chases Whitehead all the way back to his own 40-yard line, and he'll get it back to the 47, the 48. So about an 8-yard return, 5-yard return, 52 yards on the punt. A tremendous job by Zach Robinson with 12:43 left to go here in the second.
Boy, what a weapon to have a punter like that, huh? You know, back deep like that where you're fearful of getting a punt block for a touchdown. He booms one and is able to get the ball on the other side of the 50-yard line. Great job by Robinson.
So Dean College will take over on downs, trailing 19-6 out of Franklin, Massachusetts. 7-1, riding a 7-game win streak. Play action. Here's the bootleg. Here's the pass. And complete downfield to Robbie Jackson. His first catch of the afternoon. And that's going to be good for 12 yards and a Glendale first.
Well, a very nice throw by Small. He threw that ball on time. That's the bootleg back to the short side of the field. You don't see that very often. Most time people bootleg to the wide side, but got that ball to his great receiver, Robbie Jackson.
Todd Vasey is the head coach of the Dean College Bulldogs out of Nebraska, graduated from Nebraska. Matt Chapman, the offensive coordinator. Mike Cahill's the defensive coordinator. Out of shotgun, first down, he dropped the ball, and then he's going to be wrapped up. His forward progress will get him close to the 39-yard line, so he gains a yard on the play. Had a good job of getting in there. It seems it's so funny, Coach, that it almost seems like every time someone fumbles the ball, as Apollo Ford got in on that tackle, everything breaks down.
Well, yeah. The whole timing of your play breaks down, and so it's very difficult to gain many yards when you don't get that ball cleanly off the snap.
So Small will take the snap on 2nd and 9. He's 4 out of 8 for 40 yards, 1 touchdown pass, 6 carries, only 17 yards, and he floats one over there. And that ball is going to be incomplete. Boykin was the defender who came up with the ball, but apparently it had got a little too much green, and it's incomplete. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Well, in the replay, you could see that was number 51, the man with the long locks, Dylan Flannery. They came in, and he hit Small's arm just as he released that ball. That's why that ball fluttered like it did and nearly was picked off by the Glendale secondary.
So Dean unable to get that passing game going so far in this Valley of the Sun Bowl. Facing a 3rd down and 9, the sun has come out here. And we got a penalty marker, I would imagine a false start, and that is exactly what the call is. Joe Seawald, our head referee.
Well, Jamal Small is arguing that the Glendale defense
on the offense, number 66,
made
5-yard penalty.
A sound similar to his cadence, which drew the false start penalty by his offensive lineman there. So that's something we'll need to watch for as the game goes on. But this is something that has happened throughout the years in football, that the defense will try to simulate the snap count of the offense. Sometimes it's inadvertent, but sometimes they do it on purpose, and it causes people to false start.
So it sets Dean College back to the 46-yard line and now facing a 3rd and 14. Small out of shotgun. Drops back, looks over the middle and fires, and he had a wide open Robbie Jackson, who was a good 4 yards behind the coverage of Brendan Murphy, and Small aired it out incomplete.
Well, that's a really poor job by the defensive secondary of Glendale. It's 3rd and 14, 3rd and 15, and they're letting a wide receiver run past them. That should not be happening. Both the corner and the safety did not get depth. They did not open up their hips and run, and that should have easily been a touchdown as Small puts it on target to Robbie Jackson.
Well, Coach Vasey has seen Moriarty too many times in this game, the punter, averaging 40 yards a kick. Wobbles one over there. He put one down to the Glendale 5 his last time. He does his job here technically as he angles it for the sideline, and it's out of bounds inside the 20 at the 18.
Well, Moriarty's doing a great job for the Dean football team. He's really done a nice job kicking away from Demetrius Wilson, not allowing him to return, other than that first return of the game. But to put that ball inside the 20 and away from Wilson is great strategy for the Dean Bulldogs.
Leading Glendale up front, Stephen Garola, number 56, a 6'2", 285-pounder. Stone under center. Backs are in the offset eye. Hines gets the call. Looked like a slant run, then he tried to get that little cutback lane, and he was wrapped up by Lance Burlingame. Burlingame, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 6'5", 270 pounds. Probably the one guy that Mickey Bell and the defense was most concerned of in terms of on the Dean side of the ball.
Yeah, I got to interview Jason Jewell, the offensive line coach for the Gauchos, and that was the guy that he was most concerned about them being able to handle on their defensive front.
Hines featured again in there to block. The pass by Stone is complete to the near the 29-yard line, and that is going to be very, very close to a Glendale first down. Matt Ball with the play. The signal has been made, and it is a first down.
Well, that time Petard, number 45, tried to come on one of his classic blitzes, and the center, Garola for the Gauchos, did a great job picking him up on the blitz to allow Stone to get that first down completion.
So it was an 8-yard pass play. Spencer Stone looking pretty good here so far. A couple of touchdown passes. First down and 10 from the 30. 10 minutes left to go on the clock. He throws, and there's a pick. And just as I say, he's done a fine job here this afternoon. The old interception bug strikes again. Vashawn Williams out of Kings Island, Georgia.
Well, Vashawn Williams did something that I've tried to teach our football players over the years. When you get a drop back pass and you only have one receiver to your side, you should, and you're an outside linebacker like Williams plays, you should be what we call a buzz dropping underneath that wide receiver. And it's exactly what he did. Stone was looking off the secondary, came back, and did not see Williams standing there in a great interception.
Gauchos lead at 19-6, second quarter action. We got a stop and play and another false start penalty against Dean College.
False start on the offense, number 11. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Jeff, now we're seeing a little bit of what happens when you don't practice or don't play for about 3 or 4 weeks. And that's one of the dangers when you have a bowl game. You always worry about the rust factor and penalties and things like that. And we kind of see that on both sides here in the second quarter.
Well, the Bulldogs' last game a good 3 weeks ago against Lackawanna, a team that your Gauchos played right here in the 2006 game. Here's Williams, their leading rusher this year, going to work, and he's going to be stopped. I don't know if he even got a yard on that play. Cody Lenhart, a couple of others on the play. Did he get 3?
Well, it's going to bring him, looks like almost got the penalty yardage back. So
yeah.
It looks like almost 2nd and 10. It looks like to me, as we said earlier, that Small's trying to set up his option game. And, he's as we've seen already, he's very dangerous carrying the ball.
Now he runs it left and finds a sliver and breaks it loose. One man to beat, and he's going to be wrapped up near the 10-yard line by DeAndre Moore-Young, who made a sensational tackle and saved a touchdown after a 20-yard scamper by Small, the quarterback out of Dean.
Well, I hate to say I told you so, but there's the option. And this young man is a dangerous, dangerous guy with the ball in his hands, and he's just as effective running it or pitching it off the option, and that time he chose to keep it, and huge gain for Jamal Small to bring up first. Well, I guess they can get a first down still. They're just outside the 10-yard line.
He's got 37 yards rushing in this game. It seems like a little bit more than that. 7 carries, 37 yards. First down and 10. And on a delayed handoff, Andre Williams takes it down to the Glendale 4.
And the last 2 plays were the best job by that Dean College offensive line of coming off in a wave, doing the zone blocking schemes, and opening up seams for their runners. And that time the running back, number 30, Williams, was able to slash through there for a nice 7-yard gain.
Running a pistol formation here. Handoff, Williams stopped in the backfield, Once again, C.J. Randall was there, and he wrapped him up. He gave him a big 255-pound bear hug.
Well, they tried to run the same play, only to the weak side that time, and Randall was not going to get reach blocked by the offensive tackle. He maintained his gap and as you said, made a great play on that outside run, and that's going to bring up probably the biggest play of the game so far, about 3rd and 7, and this is going to be a real challenge for the Glendale defense to see if they can force a field goal attempt.
Are you surprised that Small averages less than 3 yards a carry and didn't even rush for 200 yards this year?
Very surprised.
3rd down and 6, option left, the ball comes out. I think Williams was able to recover the fumble and get in there just before Jason Link, 6'4", 265-pound down lineman who's in there on passing situations a lot of times for Glendale. With 7:30, the clock continues to wind down, second quarter action.
Well, I think Glendale got lucky on that play. Dean executed that option very well. The pitch was good. The running back just dropped the ball. If he catches that pitch, I think he had a good chance of gaining some really good yardage and possibly the first down.
From 27 yards out, Moriarty. And almost blocked, and the kick is wide right. No good. Penalty marker is down on the field.
Holding on the offense. That penalty is declined. The field goal is no good.
All right, so Glendale will take over, leading 19-6. 7:07 left to go here in the first half. You're watching the Valley of the Sun Bowl on MCTV Sports. All right, Glendale will take over on downs from the 20-yard line. First down and 10 for Spencer Stone, 9 of 14 passing so far today, and this is going to go for negative yards.
And I believe that was Brian Bosworth. You believe that name? Brian Bosworth in the backfield for, about a 5-6 yard loss.
Bosworth out of Cape Coral, Florida, 6'1", 280-pounder, number 58 in on that tackle. He's a down lineman. What position did the other Bosworth play? Linebacker?
Linebacker.
Yep.
For the Oklahoma Sooners.
Didn't have much of a NFL career, but was awfully popular back in the 80s. Stone rolls out. He's throwing complete and pushed out of bounds near the 27-yard line. Another catch for Antoine Jackson.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you got Jackson and Wilson on the same side, both guys about 6'3", great targets, long arms, good hands, that's a tough combo to deal with.
Well, Jackson now gives you a trio of great receivers, considering that Haggard came on, got off to a slow start this year, and then went gangbusters from about week 3 on. And we knew what Demetrius Wilson was capable of. Now you add a 6'4" receiver into the mix. 11-yard pickup, and they go to Wilson. He makes the catch. He's up across midfield. And inside Dean territory, they're going to mark him down at the 48 after a 27-yard pass play on a slant to Demetrius Wilson.
Boy, you called it right there. Those are two exciting receivers, and the way Stone is throwing the ball today, he's doing a great job getting those balls to those men in stride.
11 of 18 passing for over 150 yards, but this time he's going to be dropped for a quarterback sack. Dante Holmes finally wrapped him up. He's out of Steel City, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Well, Stone was lucky he held on to the ball because he used very poor ball security on that play. He had the ball down by his hip, and that's how those fumbles are caused when the quarterback's in the pocket. So he needs to get that ball up near his chest next time he wants to throw the ball. So if he does get hit, he can tuck it away.
So a loss of 5, 2nd and 15 for Glendale. They lead at 19-6, and Hughes will get it back to the 50-yard line. Boy, a menacing hit by Petard, number 45 for Dean College.
Boy, did you see Hughes' helmet hit this turf? That's scary when that happens. This turf, fortunately, is pretty soft because of the rain we've had, and they've done a nice job getting this field in good shape this time of year. But boy, on a harder surface, that might have caused a severe head injury.
4:50 left to play here. First half action, second quarter, 19-6. Glendale with the lead. Looking at a 3rd and 11. Stone has a man. He had 2 men wide open at the 23. And it was a matter of who wanted it the most, and it was Wilson who goes up and makes the catch for 27 yards.
Well, there's had to be some confusion on that play because, as you said, there's 2 Glendale receivers right in the same area, both open, but that usually shouldn't happen. Usually one of them should be a little further up the sideline, but a great throw by Stone getting that ball to Demetrius Wilson.
Centennial star Anthony Hughes lined up in the backfield. Stone under center, drops back, little 5-step drop, dumps it over the head of Hughes. Incomplete, but it was the pressure applied by Dante Holmes, who made the tackle for loss a couple of plays ago. And you think, Coach, that Dante Holmes out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania wasn't snatched away from the grasp of Lackawanna College, because they're in that area of Pennsylvania.
I'm sure they were. I'm sure Lackawanna wishes they had that number 6. I'll tell you what, if he didn't make that play right there, that might have been a touchdown because they had that screen pass set up very nicely for Hughes, except for the pressure from Holmes.
4:13, clock stop with the incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10. They'll throw a fade to the near side. I think it was intercepted. It was, and he was in bounds. He stayed in bounds, and Johnny Roundtree, probably their best cover guy, their best corner, intercepts the ball 8 yards deep into the end zone, and they'll turn the thing over to the Dean offense with 4:07 to go.
And as you can see on that replay, Roundtree played that ball beautifully. He was like the receiver. He was running the route for that receiver and just took that ball away from Haggard. But you know, this is what we talked about before the game. The concern for Glendale is Stone possibly turning the ball over, and this is now 2 turnovers. This one in plus territory where they should have definitely got some points, and that could really cost them in the end.
All right, so Dean comes out, and they're running the ball, and they're going to their primary weapon on through the run, and that's Andre Williams. And Williams gets it up to about the 24, a gain of 5 on the play.
Well, strategically, Dean at this point would like to just drive the ball and keep it for the rest of this half, not give it back to that explosive Glendale offense. If they can do that and put some points on the board, that'll get them right back there in the game.
So a couple of turnovers for Glendale has kept Dean in this ball game. 19-6 to score, 3.5 left to go, and there goes Jamal Small, and he's going to be a little shy of the 1st down. He got pushed out of bounds on that far side. I believe that was Dylan Flannery as we go down to the Glendale sideline. Mike Caratanudo.
Yeah, Coach, you're talking about that last turnover, obviously the interception by Spencer Stone, and Coach Bell talked about that. I said, you know, what about Dean sticks out to you? And he says, they seem like a balanced team, but they don't seem to make a lot of mistakes, and they've baited a lot of teams into mistakes. And obviously their secondary has been a strong point for Dean. So I know Glendale and Coach Sollers are still going to take their shots, but it'll just be interesting to see how they can keep matching up.
So Dean looking at a 3rd and 3. Small faked the bootleg and fires incomplete on a ball that Robbie Jackson probably needs to catch that ball.
Yeah, it was a low pass, but Jackson's got great hands, and he just didn't use good technique of bending his knees and getting underneath the ball. And that's a huge play.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep the drive alive, you keep the ball in Dean's territory or Dean's hands, and now you got to punt it away to number 11 for the Gauchos, and you sure don't want to do that. Now look for this ball to be angled to the Glendale sideline, I'm guessing, away from Wilson.
Wilson stands back at his own 36. Moriarty averaging 47 yards a kick. There was some contact back there. Wilson from his own 37 races up towards midfield and then got his head cut off by David Quinn.
Well, I think he ducked it before he got smacked, but that was a smart move by Demetrius Wilson. He's not just a talented athlete, he's smart enough to get out of the way of that Mack truck.
35 yards on the punt, 11 yards on the return, 2:51 left to go. You're watching the 31st Annual Valley of the Sun Bowl on MCTV Sports.
You know what I learned in college? You can save a lot of money by going to a community college before transferring to a four-year school. I think that deserves an A+.
Discover yourself at the Maricopa Community Colleges, maricopa.edu.
Back at Glendale in the Valley of the Sun Bowl 2011. And the Glendale offense returns from their own 49. Jamil Hines out of Chandler High School. He played for Coach Jim Ewan, and he picks up 5, maybe 6 yards on first down. It brings up a 2nd and 4, and coming out in a no huddle again.
Well, Jeff, you know, the whole key to this game right now has been Glendale's ability to get off the field on defense. You know, that last series was huge because now the Gauchos, despite turning the ball over, they still got the ball in great field position and got a good chance to put some more points on the board before the half.
Hines gets the call and runs it straight ahead, barrels his way up to the 41. He's very close to a first down. He was brought down by their leading tackler in 2011, Charles Watson, number 5.
Now, don't be surprised here if Coach J.D. Solers goes for one of his favorite play-action passes. He loves this 3rd and short situation. They've been running the counter play very well, and Glendale is excellent at running the counter pass off of the play action.
Demetrius Wilson in the slot at the bottom of the screen. Looked like somebody may have jumped too soon, and I don't think Stone got it. Forward progress, maybe close, but a good push, and once again, Shamarcus Petard was in there, but let's see what the penalty is.
I think that's going to be on Dean. I'm pretty sure their defensive front was in the neutral zone when the ball got snapped. Now, unless a Glendale player
offside
them.
On the defense. That 5-yard penalty will result in the first down.
Yeah, they changed the snap count on him, and with the hard count, Dean jumped into the neutral zone, and a great job by Garola snapping the ball when he saw the defenders get into the neutral zone, and it's an automatic 5 yards and a first down.
Colin Powers, Junior Nieves, Patrick Ward, Garola. It's a very good offensive front line, and they have performed extremely well here. Preston Brooksby, 275-pounder out of Sunrise Mountain, just up the road here. 1st and 10 from the 37. Stone on play action, and now dumps it off incomplete. And I think that's a wise move by Hines, just dropping the ball.
It was, and that's the play action pass I was talking about, off the counter play. And Stone is a shorter quarterback, as we mentioned, and if he'd have been a little taller, he'd probably had better vision and been able to see Demetrius Wilson, who's Wilson was wide open in the middle of the field on that play.
2nd and 10 coming up, 1:24 on the clock. Clock stop with the incomplete pass. Glendale with 3 timeouts left to go. All 3 timeouts. Dean has 2 of their 3 timeouts remaining. 2nd down from the 37. Stone, short drop, throws incomplete. And it was intended for Wilson and probably would have completed the pass, but Gaddis was right there, and had he thrown the ball on target, it would have been picked off.
Well, nice job by the Dean defense. They got in their drops very well and forced Stone to throw that ball higher than he would like to. And, you know, that's one of the challenges for a quarterback of his height. It's hard to throw those quick passes unless you have good passing lanes to throw the ball in.
He's 5'11", 190 pounds, out of Chaparral, trying to convert a 3rd and 10. He lofts it to the far side, and that ball was caught, and they're going to give him the catch right at the 22-yard line. What a spectacular catch by Willie Residio.
Well, Residio, I believe, was pass interfered with as well on the play. It looked like the defender hit him as the ball was coming into his hands, and great job by Willie of holding on to that ball.
14-yard pickup for Glendale, stops the clock with 1:16, trying to add on to a 13-point lead. Set up the screen near side. Hughes, who's dangerous in the open field, took on 2 defenders and goes forward to the 18-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a phenomenal job by Anthony Hughes to get any yardage out of that play. They had that snuffed out. There were about 3 guys hit him at one time. They all fell off of him, and Anthony was able to get about 4 or 5 yards.
We got an injured player, Coach. It's
Shamarcus
Petard. He's one of their
40
top
seconds on the play clock,
defensive players
40
with
seconds.
1 minute left to play here, though they're going to add a few more seconds onto the clock. Glendale leads at 19-6 here in the Valley of the Sun Bowl. And we'll return in just a moment. All right, 1 minute left to play here. Glendale, the host team, The 31st annual Valley of the Sun Bowl is marching down the field, facing a 2nd down and 5 from the 18. Stone not in at quarterback. This is Talon Haggard out of the Wildcat, and here's the speedster Wilson on the end around, and boy, did Dean College read that to perfection, and led by Lamonte Gaddis, the young man, the sophomore out of Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, Gaddis just made a great
Glendale,
play because that was set up very well. It looked like to me that Wilson was for sure going to get the first down and maybe more, and Gaddis showed tremendous pursuit and speed to get to Wilson and stop him for just about a 2-yard gain.
So bring up a 3rd down and 4 when we come out of the timeout. Coach, you know this better than anybody. I mean, you got a guy like Wilson who can change directions on a dime, and you're out there on an island, Gaddis on an island, and you're like, you've got to kind of hold your ground out there.
Well, that's the kind of a play, Jeff, that will get a young man recruited to a major university. Just a play like that. You see, when you know how good an athlete Wilson is with the ball in the open field, and he's been able to make a tackle like that, great body control, good hips, rolled those hips, wrapped him up. It's just a great play by Gaddis, and if I'm sure he's been making those plays all year long. You just don't make them in the Valley of the Sun Bowl. You make those all year long, and I'm sure he's a young man that's going to have an opportunity to play at the next level.
44 seconds on the clock. Glendale leads it 19-6. We're in the second quarter. Glendale trying to add on to that 13-point lead. Stephen Garola, the center, and he snaps it to Stone, looking right, fires towards the end zone. He's got Wilson, but double team coverage. He threw it into that double team, and it was broken up nicely by Donovan Walker. And now a big 4th down play. This a bigger play for Dean College's defense than really Glendale on offense.
Yeah, Donovan Walker really broke well on the ball. They had double coverage on Demetrius Wilson. Stone was hoping that Wilson could go up between the 2 defenders and bring that down, but Donovan Walker was able to slap that ball away.
Rushkoff, who has a field goal from earlier, and now we got to stop and play. This might be a timeout, Dean College.
Timeout, Dean College. That's their second charge timeout.
So Dean College calls a timeout to ice the Glendale kicker with 38.2 left to go first half, and Glendale leading 19-6.
I don't know, Jeff. If that's what their purpose was, to ice the kicker. I don't get that right now. They got 2 timeouts. Now they're down to 1. There's 38 seconds left to go. As explosive as these athletes are, you got time to get the ball back and put points on the board for your team. So I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Now, maybe they had a situation where they wanted to talk strategy, or maybe somebody wasn't on the field that they wanted to get in the lineup, and it looks like right now they're making that change. As number 8, it looks like Albert Presley is coming into the game, and we're going to see he's a 6'2" defender. We're going to see if they're putting him in a position to try to block this kick.
So once again, from the 24, it'll be held by Talon Haggard, Rushkoff, who hit one from 31 yards earlier. Got another stop and play.
Timeout. Dean College, third and final timeout.
How about that, Coach? Back-to-back timeouts. So is this a personnel problem, or what do you think?
I have no idea. I assume Coach Vasey is going to just run out the clock when they get the ball back, but that's probably more of a defensive-minded coach than an offensive-minded coach making those timeout calls.
Let's send it down to the Glendale side and Mike Caratenuto.
Well, Coach, I think it was something with personnel and the way they were lined up, because Coach Vasey walked over and was not really I could see him from across the field here. Was talking to his team pretty firmly, so there was something wrong with either how they were lining up, who's on the field. I didn't see him make any substitutions in the huddle, but I think it was a personnel issue.
All right, Rushkoff will attempt for the 3rd time, unless Glendale calls a timeout. They got 2 left. 34-yarder, there was contact. The flag is in, but the kick is good. That'll make it a 22-6 lead for the Gauchos on a successful 34-yarder by Jordan Rushoff, the freshman out of Campbell County High School in Wyoming. But there is a penalty marker down. I would imagine
personal foul, roughing the kicker.
Be roughing
on the defense.
kicker.
That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a good field goal.
33 seconds left to play here in the first half. It's the 31st annual Valley of the Sun Bowl, and Glendale leads it 22-6.
Well, I guess Coach Bell is using that philosophy that you never take points off the board. I don't know. I think I would have probably taken that penalty, go half the distance to the goal, and see if we can put a touchdown on the board. There's still time, and there's 2 timeouts that Glendale still has left. So I'm not saying he did the wrong thing, but I think if I was making that call, I'd have probably taken the penalty. But that's a tough one. That's a tough decision.
The last drive by Glendale ate up 2 minutes and 16 seconds of clock, 34 yards on 8 plays. And now the Gauchos will be kicking off. Bobby Hodge out of Ironwood. There's an awful lot of Ironwood alumni on this Glendale team, be it that it's about 2 miles from here, the high school.
Yep.
I have a big part of that. Whitehead from inside the red zone, broke a tackle near the 23, breaks still another tackle, and then gets annihilated out of bounds near the 31.
Now, will Coach Vasey just kneel on this ball, or do you think he's going to put it up in the air and try to get some points?
Well, you know, how many times I've said that this year, they're going to take a knee, you know, doing all those Hamilton games this year. I said, oh, they'll take a knee, and they come out throwing the ball, and then when you think they're going to do the one thing, they do the other. So it's hard to say, but they got I don't think they have any timeouts left unless the scoreboard was
they're out. They're out. They used their last 2 on those field goal attempts.
Scoreboard still has 1 timeout left up there, so they got 27 seconds left to go. Small out of shotgun, and he's going to take off with it, and he'll pitch it back. A very dangerous play there to Andre Williams, trying to make something out of that play. And right now, I think if you're Dean, you just let this thing run out, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So here at halftime, it is a 22-6 lead for the Glendale Gauchos. Let's take a quick timeout. It's 22-6, and we'll be back with our halftime here in just a moment.